Good morning, and thank you for joining us for our Thursday's edition of Press Review right here on Luntha TV. Today being the 31st of August in the year 2023. It is yet another time where we take you through some of the stories that are appearing in our newspapers. And today with me, Tandi Wemzumara, and my colleague
Robert Edward.
Good morning, Robert. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It is the last day of the month.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and, tomorrow is Friday, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, and being the first of another month, it's quite a tricky day for a Friday. Okay. Being a first of another month, because this is month end, people have money.
Exactly.
So people might end up just like spending their money.
Yeah, we have money. Yeah.
Oh, you have money?
Yeah.
Okay, good for you. Okay, so I'll start with the Daily Times. The front page here, a headline reads, "Food situation to worsen from October." And part of the story reads that Malawi's IPC Accurate Food Insecurity Analysis projection has revealed that the country's food security situation will worsen between October 2023 and March 2024. The report has indicated that the food crisis will affect 3.9 million people in rural areas with 470,000 to be affected in cities such as Blantyre, Zomba, Lilongwe, and Mzuzu. This is rather disturbing because this projection has been there for a while now. At first, if I remember very well, it had said from September to March 2024, but then the Department of Disaster Management Affairs did say that they were preparing to make sure that people have enough food, and that this does not actually pull through, as this is just a projection. Okay, it's not necessarily that if we don't prepare for it properly, it might actually happen. But then Donma did say that, oh no, we're preparing, and then to actually say that it's actually going to get worse, this doesn't make sense.
To me, I always say it's not fair to God for us as a country to be saying hunger is a natural disaster. I think this is not natural. It's something man-made. In Malawi,
to some extent, yes.
We know, yeah. Okay, you are agreeing with me.
To some extent.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Malawi, we will see the problem. We'll have data telling us this is what needs to happen and all that, and then we choose not to do otherwise. Or what we are doing is when a reporter calls, we think when we be clever to that reporter, we have saved the situation, but you tell the reporter this and you do otherwise, but at the end of the day, it didn't solve the problem because it will still come back. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's worrisome indeed. Another story on the Nation newspaper, ACB to probe 1.2 billion Mombela University fraud. The Anti-Corruption Bureau, ACB, has launched an investigation into alleged fraudulent activities in the construction and running of the Mombela University project, where about 1.2 billion is said to have been abused. The probe comes after what authorities described as fruitless outcomes of criminal investigations launched by Malawi Police Services into alleged fraudulent expenditure of the public funds on operations of the Mombela University project, after an audit report showed that 1.2 billion could not be accounted for. If you go to where this university was supposed to be,
in Mzimba,
there isn't
nothing. There is nothing.
Okay. I don't know why people continue Kumadoda and Mzimba, and I mean like I don't know why. Because, and I don't know why authorities and chiefs there in Zimbabwe, I don't even know why they even smile with these politicians. I don't even know why when a president, a vice president goes there, I don't know why they smile, because to what I think these guys just have to be shown.
There's nothing to be happy about.
I think I would be happy one day if a president is going to Zimbabwe, they tell the president, I said, don't come here. If you're coming here, bring tractors and everything so that we should see the construction. Come on, you know what happens? And our amateurs, even if they do nothing, yeah,
but
it's
then
okay.
these promises have been made for so long.
Yeah,
because if I do remember, even this government did say that they were going to make sure that
I believe now it's because of Malawians' laxity. Komaso Mtima wamanta tilindi manta, we like just speaking, we don't want to take action. There'll be another president
who's actually going to come in,
who's going to do the same thing. And after 5 years, he's going to be saying, this. Remember the kind of English that the president, Dr. Arasagwe, was speaking when it comes to this university. I mean, you'll be like, wow, now this time around, it's coming. The previous administration, remember, we hear reports that Adikuli Baujen, my lecturer at Google, Amalanda and Rama, Kuboma as a lecturer at Mombela University in the DPP government. Now, this so-called, I withdraw the so-called. This don't say MCPs chakwera ready don't say alliance government. Now so abwera so ndi awa no tuma tukonjezera chazi kununka. Because we are so flowery in their promise. But look at what is happening now. And now we are choking the ACB. We are even giving them, I don't even know why as Malawi Timafna this bagas. So yeah, rising costs haunt government as road contractors want contract sums increase. My government is feeling the pinch of the 25% quota devaluation implemented in May 2022 as contractors are demanding increases in their contract prices due to rising cost of materials. I saw it coming though.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so on the second page of the Daily Times, the headline here is sexual abuse cases worry stakeholders, and part of the story reads that Center for Human Rights Education, Advice and Assistance has cited inadequate funding for one-stop centers as one of the factors hindering anti-gender-based violence GBV efforts. Career Project Coordinator and Monitoring and Evaluation Manager, Sifiwe Malihera, said this on Wednesday during a one-stop center financial support lobbying meeting in Ilongwe, saying that, for example, that the one-stop center in Luntha recorded 396 cases of child sexual abuse and gender-based violence in 2015, 446 cases in 2016, 540 cases in 2017, and 660 cases in 2022. So the numbers keep rising.
Yeah.
So it's like funding for one-stop centers where I think these children are actually supposed to be helped when they actually face such issues, and also maybe to be protected from actually facing such abuse. Funding is the problem.
Somebody said
we need to really, in my opinion, this needs to really be looked at, because these are children, okay, who are, it's not these numbers, don't know 400 cases, 540 cases, but these are actually 540 children, 400 children. And sometimes it could be good, the number is actually much more than that. The 40 number counted are not reported. So in my opinion, this is something that is to be key. The funding needs to actually be made available, because we're talking about kids here.
And now, those who are supposed to give the funding, they are the first to speak a lot on this one, but they fail to act and do the proper funding. So maybe the figures will raise an alarm to them. I'm having another interesting story in the Nation. Court frees Kalindo hours after arrest. The Lilongwe Chief Resident Magistrate Court yesterday ordered the immediate release of activist Bon Kalindo hours after police arrested him as he set out to lead protest march to Kamuzu Palace in Lilongwe. Chief Resident Magistrate Madari Sojimada said the warrant of arrest for Kalindo issued on Monday has been suspended. The order also directs that the parties should attend an inter-party hearing on the matter on September 8. Yesterday afternoon, there were running battles between some of the demonstrators and police around area 14 in Lilongwe. Police fired tear gas to disperse the crowds. Yeah, they were actually, at first, the demos were not supposed to be held. They were told not to. Yeah.
And then early in the morning, Kalindo was arrested, and then in the afternoon, the court ordered that, and then who's that? The friend of Kalindo. The name was just
it's Munro.
Yes, Redson Munro.
Yes.
Went ahead, but then apparently the anachingilidwa ndi anthu ena amene akuganiza kuti ndi masupporters a MCP. So that basically mademo anaimira panjira, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they had to do with kunena kuti they're not happy with the government, and they think that they are suggesting rather that the president should step down.
It's
Okay.
it's all government moves, tactics to stop people from
Expressing their rights.
from expressing their rights. Okay, that's typical of MCB government anyway. In a way, when I see, I saw the letters.
Are you taking this from the previous MCP regime? or
Exactly.
just
Now it has just been modernized. I'm telling you, I feel I most of the times I am surrounded by a lot of fear when you are doing something against the MCP government now. Even as a journalist, I'm telling you this from my experience as a journalist. Okay, if you see, I was privileged to see a letter from police. Okay, writing the DC that you shouldn't allow these guys to continue the demonstrations. Now, two police stations, the Lingadzi and the Lilongwe police, they wrote to the DC, and the DC had to say, okay, I'm telling you not to do that. So what these guys do, they went to court, and the court gave them an injunction stopping the DC's decision, which was informed by the police.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, these guys, they take the injection to go and save the DC, say, no, you gave us, you said no, but the court has said this. So we're continuing. And when the person is doing that, is been arrested. Okay, someone says, okay, this one has been arrested.
like
Let's go.
Malamu,
Yeah. So someone has been. Let's continue with the demos. We end up seeing that somewhere police fires tear gas. So it's eneo makondo nena kuti I know if you ask Ajina Moses Kunkuyu, if you ask these bootlickers of MCP who survive on telling lies to the authorities, blah 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 blah. If you ask them, they will speak a lot of things. But the truth of the matter is, you know, and Hamaziwa, I'm own, I'm somewhere, Kalindo Amanga, you know, somebody didn't even hear why Kalindo was arrested, but he even suggested that. So it shows these guys they're just like so, and I'm not even surprised. That's what Malawians have to face. It's the hard truth. If you want to do something, if you want to express yourself,
you have to find other ways that
just
actually
to know,
government is going to approve of.
just to know they'll find something wrong about you, as opposed to the previous DBB government. DBB was putting spanners in the ways of Ajinandana, IHRDC. But the way they were doing it, it wasn't as Menakopangira. Those guys, they were doing it. Command, they were having a heart of.
No, don't you think that maybe it's because now people are more aware of these things? Because if you know, okay, if we talk about demonstrations, right? If we're being honest, as a country, Malawi,
yes.
Mademo, oh, actually, we can actually demonstrate the entire
yes.
that, oh, wow, demonstrations are actually possible and they can actually bring a change. And akachitidwa nthawi demand tuchita azindikira and chifukwa chonena kuti it's like anthu anthawi imene ijai chifukwa there was that collaboration amongst the politicians and the IHRDC. They came together to actually give power to anthu nena kuti guys, you actually have this power,
yes.
and you can actually do this. So it like zinatipanga awake anthu fe kupanga realize not, oh, okay, so we actually have the right to be following up on zinthu zimene boma likuchita, so much so that panopa you find kuti boma ilili whatever it is that happens and how before we actually hear about it. But when in previous governments, after years later, because we can even give an example from Katazaki Nakashigeti issue the late Bingo Mutharika had money in some accounts. We knew them, but then if you think about it even now, even when someone is in government, is in that position, so it's like we are awakened. So like now people actually know. People want to follow up on what is happening.
Exactly. Even our banks are mademo. And to I think that these guys they're doing this not even for Malawians, but they're doing it for their own berries. Yeah, so I think it's quite true. I'll just move to the business. Bad loans rise. Industry consumers blame high interest. Outstanding loans to the private sector obtained from commercial banks have been on the rise in the half half-year period ended June 30, institution, industry, and consumer have linked it to the high interest rate environment. Yeah. So that's the story.
Speaking of loans, NIF disburses 70.9 billion kwacha. And part of the story reads that the National Economic Empowerment Fund, NIF, has said it has so far disbursed 70.9 billion Malawi kwacha in loans as at the end of July 2023. NIF Chief Executive Officer Humphrey Mjetseni told Times Radio Kutakata Ndimpamba wa NIF on Tuesday that of the 70.9 billion Malawi kwacha, about 17 billion kwacha has been dispersed in the northern region, 30 billion kwacha has gone to the central region, and 24 billion kwacha has gone to the southern region.
Yeah, but if we look at the impact of the same, I don't know.
As in of the loans?
Yeah.
As in if they're actually going to benefit people?
Yeah, if it, no, the disbursement has already happened, so I don't know if...
okay, moving on to international news. A headline here reads that Gabon coup leaders to meet on Bongo fate and new leader. The part of the story here reads Bryce Ngwema, suspected ringleader of yesterday's coup in Gabon, has said that the mutinous soldiers were meeting at 2 o'clock GMT yesterday to decide the new leader of the Central African country. The leader of the elite Republican Guard and a relative to President Ali Bongo was speaking in an interview to French Daily Le Monde. So I don't know if people have been following up, but there was a coup. There is a coup that has happened in Gabon.
Yes.
So there was an election on Saturday, of which their president won for the third time.
Yeah.
And people are not happy about that. So much so that the military and the leader of this military, being the presidential guard of the president himself, who has actually now turned on him to say, you know what, no, we've had enough. And apparently they're actually related. He's a relative to the president himself, so they turned on him and he's under house arrest. So now the military has taken over the country, and now they're thinking of actually electing leaders. But if you've followed up, I think in the years, from maybe 2021 to 2023, you'd find Kuti is
there have been these cases, and now now going
Niger,
back to
in Niger, the president is still under arrest, is still being kept. The military has stepped up to say we no longer want to rule our country.
There comes a time when comrades of a nation decides something. If you look at this many Antwanda Mabanga, and the Asligari, you get, it's typical of African leaders to cling to power.
Definitely.
The
very one. And you know, these people have been in power for 56 years.
Now, despite to them, they just believe it's them who are supposed to be in power.
No, but it has never made sense to me.
I know.
I get it. Drama apparently, because no matter how many millions you have, you still want more millions.
Exactly. But by the end of the day, the dance floor. You know, as men are the military regimes, they are calling themselves the intermediate military regimes, the caretaker regimes, and all that. It's sad. It goes that far. Komano, if you look at the evil, somebody said a lesser evil. That becomes a lesser evil. I know the international community, the West, and all that, they will speak.
They have already.
They will go against that, and they will use the word democratically elected and all that.
Already. Okay, I've seen that you've gone to the back page, but let me just go through the arts and culture real quick. Just one story. Sound Addicts live to host Your Maps in Blantyre. Part of the story reads that after successfully hosting Komengole Bash in Lilongwe last month, Sound Addicts Live brings Zambian artist Your Maps to Komesa Hall in Blantyre next month in a gig christened Your Maps Live in Concert. The concert will take place on September 24th, 2023. I really wish I was in Blantyre.
No, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Both physically.
I really love his music.
Either physically or otherwise.
What do you mean? Otherwise.
Farm courts cancel and frames job. 50 interested association to assess my bid first. Football Association of Malawi is seeking guidance from Malawi National Council of Sports on the recruitment of the next Flames coach. At least 50 coaches have applied for the Flames coaching job, but in an interview yesterday, Farm General Secretary Alfred Gunda said the association has set aside the applications as they want to first assess the interim coach Patrick Mabet.
Okay.
This is good. Farm, thumbs up. I'm happy. For the first time ever in my life, Farm has done something which is useful.
Legal. I feel like you have something against FAM and the Malawi National Council of Sports, but that's a story for another.
No, I can say.
No, it's fine. No.
They don't do enough for our teams to be making.
You have said it enough.
Okay.
Yes, that's why I'm saying that it's a story for another day. Speaking of local sports, here, this one, the headline here reads: Malawi Youth Games get underway today, and part of the story reads that the third edition of Malawi Youth Games gets underway today at Sivo Stadium in Lilongwe with a record 1,021,540 learners taking part. Malawi National Council of Sports Public Relations and Communications Officer Edgar Mdulumbwa said the number is a great improvement from last year's 1 million. Okay, international sports. Haaland named the best, and that's the headline, part of the story. Manchester City's Erling Haaland has won the PFA Men's Player of the Year award, with Arsenal's Bukayo Saka named Young Player of the Year. Norway forward Haaland, aged 23, scored 52 goals in all competitions in his debut season with Pep Guardiola's side. I must say, it is well deserved. He's doing the most, and I think his name just pops up here and there.
He's great.
I mean, he's like a giant. But then it actually works for him though.
Yeah, it works.
It gives him an advantage.
Yeah, people say as long as when he touches it, he's going to go Pagoro. He's going to stretch the already stretched leg, and then it's a goal. But I was just laughing one day. I was watching a game between the Manchester City and another team, the Premier League, and then Haaland had to score 2 goals before half time, and you could see how Pep Guardiola was
excited.
No, actually, I was angry. I was shouting on him like, "Why did he just score 2 goals?" I mean, it was just.
Oh, he should have done more. Is that it?
I was like, these guys. Yeah, so I think it shows that there is more in Haaland, and it's great. You've been with me, Robert Edward. We just take you through our perusal of the Nation and the Daily Times.
Which, with each going at the price of 1,200 kwacha, in case you want to know more details to the stories we read, and some of which we could not. And of course, as he said, you've also been with me, Tandiwe Zumara. Stay tuned to Luntha TV as we bring you more programs. So keep it Luntha, and have a blessed Thursday.